Okay. We are learning about vulnerability because it is such a wonderful tool to have in our leadership toolbox for self-development. And you've learned that to be vulnerable means to have both of our scale sides of strengths and weaknesses and to own them both and to be okay with the tipping. Right? Just like our nest is above the tree, and in our nests we feel all safe and cozy, there are going to be winds that come and fly that make the branches sway. And if we fight that sway, we're fighting the currents of life. And that's when we begin to take vulnerability and say, no, you stay over here, I'm fine, when we're really not fine. To be vulnerable is to say, I'm not okay and I'm going to work on it. So we know that we have our scale. That's the first things first. So the second topic that I want to bring up is the fact that vulnerability is the beautiful art of marrying and uniting intention with action, right? You can't cross the sea by staring at the ocean, right? You can't cross the sea by staring at the ocean. There's an intent there, but you have to marry it with action. And no matter how many accolades that you have, no matter how many MBAs or certification, no matter how many books you've read or all of the knowledge that you've garnered in your mind, the awareness and the intuition, the eye-opening intellectual gifts that you have don't come from those hard skills, right? Soft skills is a part of the kind communication, which means to humanize our communication, to become one with who we are, and then act upon it, to reach our goals, and to commit, to practice, to become one with the art of second nature, making this practice of vulnerability not only an intention, but to put it into action, which means that you make it a ritual. You write affirmations about how much more vulnerable you can be. You make declarations, which means that you're driving in your car and you're saying your affirmations out loudly, so that you're declaring them to the universe or to yourself. And you're getting into the practice of that vulnerability, magnifying the elements of the heart, right? So to be vulnerable is to be in the place of the heart, right? To be vulnerable is to be okay with not being okay. And that takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of commitment to be in that heart space. But I'm going to empower you with this. When you want to marry intention with action, no one is going to live for you in this life. No one's going to live for you. You're going to live for yourself. You're going to say, I'm going to go for it. No one is going to climb that summit or climb that mountain for you. You're going to have to make that trail yourself. So the fact that you're invested in my coaching and my teaching, this is beautiful. You're off to the right start. You understand that I can raise my hand and say I need help, or I can raise my hand and say I'd like some tools to help me climb that summit. Is to be to be who you are, to be better at who you were 5 minutes ago, and to take that action towards it, because it's better to do something than to have an excuse for it. It's better to do something than to have an excuse for it. So when you're vulnerable and you want to do something, right? You want to take that course. You want to ask that girl out. You want to buy a house. You want to move to another state. You want to open up a sanctuary or become an entrepreneur, leave your job. Tell your boss how you really feel. Tell your lover that you need more sex. All of the uncomfortable things that we want to do to marry intention with action come together through the art of vulnerability. And with the analogy here of fire, right? We can actually create the bodily tapas of fire. Tapas is energy in the body. It's a term we use in yoga, but you can like rub your hands together really fast and then put them over your eyes. You can just feel the energy over the eyes. I can even see colors from my ring light in front of me. But there's so much energy in all that we have, right? So if you think about fire, fire is matter that turns into energy. and we get so engulfed with the flames of life. And if you make the flames of life, if you look at the flames of your life as goals that you want to achieve, dreams and desires that you wish to have, think about how you build a fire. You keep adding to it. You add oxygen to the fire. You add more wood to the fire. So ask yourself, okay, I'm not just going to watch this fire and say, I'd like for it to keep burning and to keep me warm or to keep me engaged. I'd like to build upon it. So you take part. Vulnerability with the intention, marrying with action, is the way for you to recognize your personal accountability in your life, that no matter how many books you read or how many accolades, no one is going to take this road for you to climb that summit. You are responsible. And when you open yourself up to the art of possibility, to actually start to speak your truth, to take that trek, even if it's one step, then you're becoming the master of action with intention, knowing that fires can build. Fires ultimately, they tell us that everything changes. A fire goes from red to orange to purple to blue to yellows, all of these beautiful colors. And it shows us that everything changes. The fire doesn't always look the same, right? My favorite is the Yule log in the wintertime. I make my own Yule log videos. I can send it to you. In fact, I will. If you ask, I have one. I made it. It's a 3-hour looping Yule log video. These are the things that we can do when we're vulnerable. We marry action with intention. And I am so glad that you're here and you're open to vulnerability. Yay.